Hi everybody, how are you? I'm Abby Glassenberg and I'm the co-founder and president of Craft Industry Alliance, and we are the trade association for the crafts industry. And every Wednesday at noon Eastern, we go live to drop in on a Craft Industry Alliance member and learn more about their business and their creative journey. Today, we actually have one of our several members who is based in Africa. I'm very excited to be welcoming Elizabeth Okeyele. She'll be joining us shortly. And I got to know Elizabeth personally twice because she has traveled all the way from her home in Nigeria to Chicago, both this past May and the May prior, to attend H&H Americas, which is the industry trade show for which Craft Industry Alliance is the strategic partner. And so Elizabeth has been at the show twice, and it's been so wonderful to be able to get to know her personally. She's worked in our booth. She had actually a beautiful quilt, very large quilt on display at the show this past year. And she's just a wonderful person to know. So Elizabeth's really dedicated to teaching children how to knit and crochet, especially how to knit, and she will tell us a little bit more about that when she's here. So I wanted to also share a few other things that are going on at Craft Industry Alliance while we're waiting. One is we are going to be having a webinar this Thursday, which is tomorrow. It's going to be taught by Ariane Folks from Lydia. Lydia is a Shopify and branding team, and they do absolutely beautiful, top-notch work on building Shopify websites and visual identities for creative brands. And tomorrow's session is going to be all about where to focus your energy. Should you focus your energy on traffic? Should you focus your energy elsewhere? So if you think that might be helpful to you, as you to join us for our webinar tomorrow with Ariane Folks from Lydia, and that's going to be at 2 o'clock Eastern, which is 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that session. And we've actually, oh, here's Elizabeth.
Hi,
Hey, Elizabeth, how are you?
I'm good. I can see your video isn't on at my end.
Okay, that's okay. Your video's on our end, so that's all that really matters. I can see you, which is great. You have beautiful earrings on today, and I'm really happy to see you. So tell us a little
Thank you.
bit about, yeah, tell us where
Thank
you
you,
are
Abby.
and what
Yes, I'm
you're
actually
doing.
at the back of the car. Can you see my fabric? It's
Yes,
100% Nigerian, 100% Africa, and it's called Adire. It's our local fabric, proudly Nigerian, and it's actually trendy at the moment. So if you're a Nigerian woman, you got to have this in your wardrobe. So
it's
exciting to be here.
beautiful. Yeah,
Thank
I love
you.
it. It's so beautiful. So,
Thank
Elizabeth,
you,
tell
Abby.
us a little bit about your business and what it is that you do in this sort of yarn world as far as working with young people.
All right. So I'm actually going to start by talking about my title. I like to be called a chief imaginator. I am so passionate about getting young people to work with their hands in terms of the use of materials such as yarn and the skill of knitting and crochet and sewing and dreaming and making and doing. That's all I am about, Abby. And I'm so excited to be here. And I have this big goal, which I actually moved from 20,000 to 50,000, Abby. Get 50,000 and more children across Africa learning how to knit, tapping into the beautiful benefit of crafting, of making, the aesthetic properties, the mental wellness that come from learning how to make and do. All that is something I'm so passionate about.
That's wonderful. So you do this in a whole lot of different ways. I've seen you teaching classes. I know you've written a book. You came to H&H Americas both this past year and the year prior. in order to network and meet with brands throughout the world who can support your work. So tell us a little bit about sort of the day to day. What do you do on a day to day basis to support this
All right.
mission?
So
It's really
one
big.
thing that one thing that stands out for me day to day is the fact that I am always thinking. So I'm constantly thinking in my head. I do that every day. And that thinking includes thinking about ways to actually make knitting and crochet and crafting easy for young children. And so that include identify challenges, what could be coming in their way that could be inhibiting them from learning how to knit. So I recently found out that lots of children actually still want to knit. Children of low-income parents, they want to knit, they want to crochet. In fact, there's a huge surge in number of children who are learning how to crochet currently in Nigeria. So that I see these children in my day-to-day movement across Lagos crocheting on the road when they get back when they are coming from school, going home. I see them crocheting, and how do I reach these children? And so I am on the next accelerator program, and I work with my mentor and also Ivy, who is part of the coordinator. And we said, oh, how about if we have like a sliding scale strategy where we can make a $1 kit accessible to these children? These children form a huge part of the population of who I'm trying to reach. So while I can't be everywhere, can I reach these children with a cheaper kit, knitting or crochet kit? That includes a kit that contains how to knit and how to crochet, a kit that contains a small pattern instruction, a kit that contains either a pair of knitting pin and a crochet hook, and a yarn, and a project as well that can help them accomplish whatever they want to do. That also includes teaching these children how to crochet right. Because I noticed these children go about with a very tiny crochet hook, like so tiny, something
Oh,
less than 1 mm, a 1 mm crochet hook. And you see them with a thin yarn, Abby. You see them struggling, despite enjoying the craft. Their stitches are very irregular. Some of them don't even know what they are doing. I see this all around. And this still form a part of the problem I'm trying to solve, which is how these children can craft right, how these children can knit right, how these children can crochet right, an opportunity I never had when I was their age. So how do I leverage on all I have learned, especially when I came to H&A and I saw many kits everywhere? I was actually privileged to get some few samples. So how do I bring that, consolidate that with the problem we have right here in Nigeria, which is to get young artisan, young children knitting and crocheting right. And I was able to
right.
come up with the $1 package. Not profitable in terms of being able to break even in terms of cost of materials. So I am putting the word out as many young companies, little companies who want to collaborate on this project. You can come in, you can send me some of your dead stock of
Right.
yarn. You have knitting pins and crochet pins you want to donate that you think children can use, have them sent to me. I will kit this up and move them across these low income schools, marginalized area, put it in the hands of these children. It's even easier for these children themselves to buy a $1 kit because many of them have a little bit of buying power from their food, from their snacks fee. They can put it together and they can buy this from the vendors around their community. So a $1 kit that can help these children knit and crochet right. So this is something I am recently passionate about because every time I'm always thinking, how do I get children to make? How do I get children to do? Because the benefits are so humongous. It's huge. And it's something that I can't wait to get as many children as possible experiencing the therapeutic benefit of crafting.
Absolutely. And it is really important that they have the right sort of tools and the right sort of materials because we've all had that experience where we don't have exactly the right thing and then we get frustrated, we might give up, might not be satisfied with the end product and think, oh, I'm bad at this, I don't want to continue doing it. Whereas if you had a little bit of a larger crochet hook and maybe a chunkier yarn, you could finish the project correctly and be satisfied with the results and motivated to create again. So I love that idea. So what you're saying is any companies that are out there who might have access to dead stock yarn or crochet and knitting materials that would be appropriate for children should get in touch
That's
with
very
you.
correct.
How should they
That's
get in
very
touch
correct.
with you? Is it best to just message you on Instagram?
Yes, message me on Instagram and I'll pick it up right away. Right
Okay,
away.
that's wonderful. And Elizabeth, will you tell us the story of how you yourself learned how to knit? Because you learned how to knit in school.
Yes, when I was 7, Abby, and I learned how to knit with broomstick. and we didn't even know this, the basic garter stitch, I didn't know what it was called, and I never learned how to cast off. I didn't know the appropriate terms that those knitting pins were called. In fact, till date, we still have a lot of children who call knitting crochet and who call crochet knitting. So there's a whole lot of work to do. I was also among them. I didn't have the right tools. I didn't have the right materials. I didn't have the right knowledge at that age when I was learning and loved and fell in love with knitting. And that's what I want to give back to children as well. And one thing I want to say as well, Abby, is I am so grateful for the Craft Industry Alliance platform. I would say that I was able to make a leap internationally because of your scholarship program, which I was part of the Craft Industry Alliance
Yes.
scholarship program, which I was among the recipients in 2 years back,
Mm-hmm.
2023. I was among those who got the Craft Industry Alliance a free membership, and it's been such a huge opportunity because that was how I got to know about the Golden Scissors Award. And at the moment, I have actually written articles in the UK, in the US, in Australia, in Canada, because of the connections I made with in the Craft Industry Alliance platform. You know, you have there are so many articles on that on the Craft Industry Alliance space that tells you what to do with your craft business, that tells you how to create that partnership. In fact, the next accelerator program I am in, it was a Craft Industry Alliance member that actually recommended the program for me and said, Elizabeth, you should be on this program. There's actually a grant that will be good for your business. You should come in. Her name is Sugar. She's actually also a member of the Craft Industry Alliance. And that's
Yes.
why, Abby, I am so big on the affiliate program with Craft Industry Alliance. I keep speaking on platforms and I say, you use this my Craft Industry Alliance affiliate link to join, because there's so much blessing from being a Craft Industry Alliance member. And I must thank you, Abby, for having that foresight to think that you're going to put crafters together and give us all the support we need. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, Elizabeth. It's my absolute pleasure, and you've really taken advantage of it, which makes us so happy over here. And like you mentioned, you were one of our first recipients of the Golden Scissors Award for Emerging Leader, which helped to bring you from Nigeria to Chicago for that first H&H. So congratulations again on winning that award, because that's wonderful, and I think well deserved as well. So that's really great to be the recipient of that. And I'm really glad that Sugar, who's one of our members, she's a jewelry designer in Texas, connected with you and referred you to the Nest program, which we had written about, and got you connected there. So it's all about, I feel like, communicating with one another, meeting each other, talking together, learning from each other, recommending things to each other, helping to solve problems and challenges that we have. And that's really what this community is all about. And you definitely exemplify that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
great to hear. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what's coming up, what's new, what's going to be happening with
All
you
right.
in the
So
coming months.
So I am actually writing a knitting book, Abby, a
Oh,
happy knitting book for children. I would want to keep the publishing company a secret, so that I don't get the cat out of the bag,
okay.
all of it out of the bag. So I'm writing a book, hoping it gets finished. I get sending all my submissions before the end of the year, and
Wow.
it will be published next year. And so it has gone now, Abby. H&H has helped me to see that I could reach more children beyond the shores of Africa. I could reach children with my book in Australia. I could reach children with my book in the UK. I could actually reach children in my book all over the world, having this book translated in so many other languages, because I plan to do a book tour once the book is out. And for that, again, I am also grateful being able to reach across a lot of other children. So my book is something that I am excited about. I'm also excited about distributing the $1 kit. I'm excited about more partnership. I'm excited about writing and speaking about all the beautiful things I'm experiencing in my classes, and about how we can make the world better through knitting and crochet. What next for me are also collaborations with anyone who is in the business of teaching knitting and crochet to children. I'm excited about collaborating with them and seeing what we can learn together, so that we can make the world of crafting a better place for the unborn. You know, in the unborn, in the sense that when we have everything right, these children are born, and who are really passionate about crafting, they can see the work we've done, and from them they can also live and grow and become anything they want to become with the work in the world of yarn and hoops.
Absolutely. I feel like being able to make something with your hands out of yarn, which is so simple, it gives you that wonderful confidence and feeling of accomplishment. and it really can make you motivated to do bigger and better things as time goes by. So learning those skills when you're a child, it gives you that feeling of self-sufficiency, all good things, plus like a way to relax and unwind as well. So I love that. I think we can all agree that crafting is really something that all children should be exposed to and have the opportunity to develop their skills in. And you're certainly doing that, and we appreciate it so much. So Elizabeth, this has been wonderful. I will say there was a little boy who was peeking through the window of your car just a minute ago, and he was so cute. So anyway, thank you so much for coming on today all the way from Nigeria to talk to us here in Massachusetts. And we love having you as a member. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Abby. Have a good evening, and thank you all the way from Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, bye, Elizabeth. Bye, everybody. See you next